Well, companies across the board are expected to tighten budgets heading into 2024, but you don't have to suffer at their expense.
No, that's good to know for you. Robert Vaughn, Regional Director for Talent Solutions and Business Consulting from Robert Half, is here with the company's 2024 salary guide on what workers and employees are planning for the year ahead. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you.
I think it's always good for people to have an idea of who's paying what. Can you give us a sneak peek of what it looks like?
Sure. We'll break it down into three easy buckets. The first thing is just the guides all around salaries, because salaries are important. 63% of employees expect to ask for a raise. Okay. Next, it's about flexibility. And so, for employers that want to bridge the gap to higher salaries, the best way to do that is to be flexible. And then for employees, they want flexibility. They want the ability to control when and where they work. And then lastly, it's about inflation. Okay, so right now with inflation, obviously it's affecting everybody, us individually at the gas pump, at the grocery store. But we have to be mindful that inflation's a two-way street and that it affects companies as well.
Well, beyond higher pay, what else is important to workers today?
Sure, I go back to that flexibility piece. Obviously, candidates and employees, they want the ability to have a hybrid work schedule. They want to be able to work from home. And it's not they want to work less, they just want to work on their terms a little bit more. I speak from experience where I live in Friendswood, I work in the energy corridor. If it wasn't for flexibility, I wouldn't get home to watch my daughter play volleyball. So that's important when you think about work-life balance.
How do you take a look at your own company and figure out if it's the right time to ask for that raise? Obviously, the majority of people are doing it.
Yeah, well, timing is important. First, you want to make sure your company is in a good financial position. Okay. Next, you want to look at your own internal, role, and when was the last time you asked for a raise? If it's been more than a year, then it's time. And then lastly, look and try to tie it to a recent accomplishment or ROI that can help justify the raise.
Well, if someone is doing this for the first time, what advice do you have for them to successfully negotiate better pay and maybe even some perks?
Yeah, I'll break it down into three easy steps. The first thing you want to do is reflect and do some research. Do homework, right? We have online resources. Robert Half has a guide at roberthalf.com that you can use for local salary trends. Next, you want to prepare and practice. You want to make sure you go into that conversation confident and poised to have a good conversation. And then lastly, you want to act. Sit down with your manager, sit down with an HR professional, have a detailed conversation to hopefully get what you're asking for.
And what do you think the important factors are that employers really need to consider here?
Yeah, well, employers need to know that it's still a very healthy, good job market, so they need to act fast, okay? They need to be creative with job offers that include competitive salaries as well as hybrid work environments. And then they also need to be transparent, okay? Employees don't want to waste their time. They want to know what they're expecting, what they're signing up for, and that could help them as well.
Well, let's talk about some of the positions that are expected to see the biggest salary gains in 2024.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of them. So for that list, I'd go to the guide, but to highlight a few, we're seeing an increase in software engineers, staff accountants, in-house attorneys, HR managers, as well as user experience designers as well.
All right, and then I guess for final advice, any ideas on how you can really stand out?
Well, again, use your accomplishments, take on multiple tasks, but ultimately use some of the tips and tricks we talked about earlier, but view the guide online at roberthalf.com, and that will give you an understanding as to where you are in the current market.
Ooh, the final one on the list, know when to leave. Yikes. I hope you get your way so you don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, a lot of good advice here. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.